If you are a creative person or any type of artist, it's likely that you have dozens of great ideas that come to mind throughout the day. It's a shame that most of these ideas either get forgotten about or completely ignored because we have no great way of capturing them. I've mentioned in previous videos that I love carrying a pocket notebook around for this reason, but what if there's a digital way of doing this that is even easier? Hey everyone, my name is Eric. I am a photographer and filmmaker that is now on the journey of helping you to create better content and to find clarity through writing. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the digital note-taking system that I use to capture and expand upon different ideas that I have as a creative. So the first thing that I'll mention is that the ideal setup that I use is my phone, which is just an iPhone, and then the second thing is an iPad or a laptop. I've been experimenting with different ways of capturing notes for several years now, and at the end of the day, the thing that is pretty much always on my person is my phone. As much as I hate to admit it, my phone is always in my pocket, or it's always in my backpack, or it's always in the car, and it's usually the easiest thing to grab when I want to write down a quick note or jot down a quick to-do list or anything like that. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you likely own a smartphone, so this can be done with either an iPhone or any sort of Android device. But basically, you just need to have your phone on you at any given moment, as most people already do, just to capture any ideas that come to mind. I personally do this through the app called Notion, but you can also use Apple Notes, you can use the generic note-taking app on your phone, or you can use any other note-taking app that you might be already using. I've found that the best way to do this is to create one specific note that just acts as a landing strip for anything that comes to mind. For the sake of this video, do not worry about organizing this note right now. Again, this is just a place to capture anything that comes to mind. It doesn't have to be organized. We'll do that at a later step. I will be creating another video soon after this one that will be talking about a physical or stationary way of documenting your notes and transferring those from a pocket notebook to a bigger notebook as well. So stay tuned, subscribe if you want to keep in touch with that video as well. For the sake of this video specifically, I'm going to be talking only about my digital note-taking workflow. The main thing that I use my phone for is just simply capturing the idea and adding it to a note that I have in my phone called the farm, because basically this just houses any ideas that I have, anything that comes to mind, anything that I want to expand upon or research later lands in this note. Once an idea is captured within this note, I know that is in a safe spot and I know that I can remember it for later. Again, the main focus here is to not forget something that comes to mind, because I believe everyone has thoughts that are worth sharing, they're worth researching and documenting, and forgetting about those things is a total shame in my opinion. So again, you just use the phone for capturing the idea and adding it to the list. Once the idea is captured, you can use either an iPad or a laptop to expand upon that idea, organize it, and revisit it later. Most of the time, I use my laptop for my long-form writing, and I use a MacBook Pro for that, but it really doesn't have to be something that fancy. You can use an iPad, you can use a Windows PC, anything like that, to just have a bigger workstation that allows you to write and expand upon these ideas that you had. Funny enough, I never really used an iPad until recently, but we've had this one laying around for quite a while. My wife used to use it, but I kind of recently stole it back, and I've been using it for writing. This one just has the simple Apple keyboard on it, and honestly, it's been super practical for writing. It's really easy to bring with me anywhere I go, a coffee shop, things like that. And I've been loving using this as just a mobile workstation. This is a pretty old iPad. I honestly don't know exactly what year it's from, but it's still more than capable. And again, it's easy to just throw in a backpack or a little shoulder strap and bike to the coffee shop with it. And it's much easier to bring around than my laptop, for example. Shout out to my friend Jill at Check the Box and Learn, because she kind of inspired me to use an iPad as a mobile workstation. She has some great videos covering this topic, so I will leave her channel down below in the description. Once you've decided what you want to use as your more expanded workstation, whether that's an iPad or a laptop, go ahead and review the notes that you capture throughout the whole day. At this point, you can organize them as needed, you can expand upon them through a longer writing session, or you can just review them and recognize any patterns that you come across. It's great to capture and document these notes, but if you never do anything with them, it kind of ends up being pointless. The most common thing that I do with these notes that I jot down is expand upon them through a longer writing session. I've talked about this in other videos as well, but usually this is a 30 to 60-minute writing session where I sit down with a coffee or I sit down in my office here and I just simply write about the topic that I wrote down for as long as I possibly can. Honestly, this is the habit that completely changed my life a year and a half or 2 years ago. This is the habit where I started writing 1,000 words per morning, and honestly, that transformed my entire life. I believe writing is the best skill to learn for building your personal brand, for building a business as an entrepreneur, or just for any creative endeavor if you are an artist. Writing is the foundation of all forms of content, whether that be a newsletter, a blog post, a video like this one, or different social media posts as well. Even if your creative art form has nothing to do with writing, I do think writing is a very important skill to learn that allows you to grow your specific art form and to be better at it as well. Because when you write, you just think more clearly, you expand upon ideas that you've been munching on, and it just gives you the opportunity to learn more and to solidify those things in your mind. So just for a quick review, the main workflow of capturing your ideas and expanding upon them through writing is to use your phone to write down and capture and document any ideas that come to your mind throughout the day. Again, we're using our phone in this scenario because it's usually the thing that is most convenient and most practical to write down a quick note. Once this idea is captured in your catch-all note, you can then expand upon that idea or organize it into another place on your laptop or your iPad. Depending on what the note is and what kind of creative person you are, you can use that as inspiration for your next work of art or your next creative piece. Again, for me, this is usually for writing or a video. So when I write down things, they're things that I'm going to implement into my next video or into my next newsletter. And finally, once you have these ideas organized that you've captured and then sorted into their own places, you can expand upon them through writing or add them to your specific work of art. Whether that's through writing, creating your next video, creating your next painting, creating your next blog post, or whatever it might be, capturing these ideas that you have throughout the day and collecting little bits and pieces that inspire your art is so important, and that's what this whole workflow is for. I have a few free resources in the description down below. I have my Content Clarity Crash Course, which is 8 days of emails and journal prompts that allow you to find clarity in your life and future decision making. I also have a video creation task list / checklist that allows you to create your next video in an organized way. And then I also have a daily writing Notion template that I use that is how I usually organize my daily writing sessions. If you want to check any or all of those out, the links will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, my name is Eric. I will see you in the next one. I think that's it. Peace.